Hey Dan, welcome to Project 70.
Thank you.
Thanks for being a part of it. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, my name's Dan Rigney. Most people in this area do know me through one reason or another, but mainly because I've got the IGA store on Vienna Road upstairs from your building.
Yeah, awesome. So that is now the Hills?
The Hills IGA, yes.
Yeah. So what's your story behind the IGA? How did you get involved?
I started dating my now wife 7 years before I married her, and her father owned the IGA. It wasn't an IGA then, it was a food store or a food works or something like that, and he had a back operation, and I just left school and I was doing some part-time work in a fruit and veg shop, and he needed someone 2 days a week just to help him with his load when they came in on the pallets, because he had his back operation, and I fell into it from there.
Wow. So it was your wife's parents' store,
Yep.
the in-laws, and then you and your wife bought a store at...
I came back and managed that store. I left and did a bit of a plumbing apprenticeship, which I pulled out of, and then I had a few other jobs, and then I came back and managed that store for them for a few years. Then my wife and I went and built a brand new store at Mount Gravatt on Logan Road. We ran that for about 8 years, I think. That won Best IGA Express in Australia 2 years in a row, Best IGA Express in Queensland 3 years in a row. And yeah, we sold that and came back and bought this one outright 7 years ago, I think. And since then we've made a lot of changes to it, and we've now won Best IGA Express in Queensland with that one, and we're up for the National Award.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it's good.
So what do you love about it?
Probably we love the engagement we have with the customers. That's probably the best thing. It's not an easy job. You're up at 4 o'clock every morning, 6-7 days a week, 4 o'clock. I've had probably Christmas Day off as a public holiday in the last 20 years. I haven't had a Anzac Day off. I haven't had a Good Friday off in more than 20 years. It's not easy work. It's got its downsides, but the engagement we have with our customers and our staff and the people we meet and the IGA family, with the other IGA owners, and that's what makes it.
Awesome. So you've been married for over 20 years to Jacki.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What has made you were both local?
Yep.
To the Redlands.
Yep.
And you've got 3 children together.
Correct.
Family is important to you.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think makes a strong family?
Just having each other's back, I think, is number one. I've been asked plenty of times not that I've got to honestly say I think I've got a successful marriage. That doesn't mean anything could happen in the next 20 years, but at the moment I've got a successful marriage, and I've had friends that break up and ask us how we do it. And my opinion there is I look out for Jacki. She looks out for me. Both our needs are getting looked out for. We're not looking out for each other. We're looking out for each other, and I think that same goes for the kids and the family. You're always looking out for each other and just doing things together.
So have your children wanted to work in with you both?
Yes, my older 2 have worked with me, my 19-year-old son, but he's now got a plumbing apprenticeship, so he no longer works with us. And my daughter, who's 18, Sarah, she is working with us currently, but she's also got a job down at Love Juice at Cleveland there, as well as dancing and going to uni full time.
Wow. So what was it like raising children in the Redlands?
Good. Yeah, it's a great place to raise kids. My kids are they're older now, they're 19, 18 and 13, and we're living at Ormiston, and it's a great place. We're not far from Ormiston, from Hilliards Creek, so the kids get down there sometimes and throw a line in, or a mud crab pot, or just even go swimming down off a rope swing down at the creek. But when they were younger, we did grow up in Redland Bay, and there's so much to do down there too. There's bike paths, there's parks everywhere, there's lots of openness. You've got Stradbroke Island just across, hop, skip and a jump away. Coochie's only, a $3 or $4 barge ride across for the day spend the day at the beach at Coochie. So there's always lots to do.
Yeah. And you grew up down here?
I was born in Ballina.
Yeah.
And moved here when I was about, I think it was grade 9 in high school at Capalaba High. So I've been here since I was in grade 9. Wow. Yeah.
And what was it like for you? Say similar to what it was like for your children? What's changed?
A little bit different. I never had a father. I had a mother who brought up 7 kids on her own. I had five sisters and an older brother, 2 older brothers, and both of them had moved out of home, so I was virtually the only male at home there for a long time, and got brought up by just, a mother and 5 sisters.
Wow.
And, due to the fact that, I never knew my father, he was never around, Mum worked 3 jobs, so probably, I shouldn't say she didn't spend a lot of time with us. She did spend a lot of time with us for a single mother, but we probably, just that the whole dynamics was different, being in a single sort of environment, single parent environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Mum was president and treasurer of the rugby league club. We never missed out on anything. She worked 3 jobs, to bring us kids up in Ballina. She was president and treasurer of the league club, like I said. The girls had netball, we played football. We never missed out on training. My grandmother lived at the beach in Ballina. We never missed out a weekend there. So we still had plenty of similarities as well,
yeah,
I suppose.
Absolutely. And your work ethic, do you think that has a reflection on what your mother showed you?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. You get nothing if you don't work for it in life. You get nowhere.
Yeah.
And that's not just financial either. I don't think you get the same kind of respect from your peers. You don't get the same kind of, involvement in the community if you're not working hard. You don't get the respect back from the community too if you're not working hard. And yeah.
Community. So the 4 bar stools at the front of the Hills IGA. What's that about?
Well, we used to have 4 old guys that rocked up on our doorstep every morning at 10 or 15 minutes before we open every morning, and they'd buy a paper or milk and they'd stand around and chat, and we'd solve the political and social ills of the world there at 6 o'clock every morning. Those boys have been coming for as long as I can remember, 20 years probably, Unfortunately, one of them, well, actually, when I say one, the bar stools were put there for them basically, because they used to stand out the front some mornings and wait for me to open, and if I wasn't watching, if I didn't see them out the front, they'd be standing up out of sight, and whether it was raining or cold or hot or whatever, and they'd just stand there and wait. If I saw them there, I'd let them in, but some mornings you just wouldn't see them, and so we put the bar stools out there for them and ended up putting their names on them. So yeah.
Wow. How did they take that?
I think they were pretty happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the boys actually died a couple of years ago now, and Bob, we put a post on our Facebook page about that, and that got viewed 20,000 times on Facebook or more. Hundreds of comments from old customers, old staff, people that, the positive comments that just loves just seeing those guys. They never engaged too much with them, but they became part of their normality in the morning. They walked into my store and they saw those 4 old guys and got just a hello or a quick political chip or a quick conversation about something in the paper or the football, and that was it. But that must have meant a lot to a lot of people around here, just being that small fraction of their day starting that way was with those 4 old guys.
And so recently, up in your store, we've noticed, you've created a table and chairs inside as well.
Yep.
And the coffee window has been there for a little bit now. How's that? Because obviously you're very community orientated. How has that helped your community up there?
Well, we put that in because I found every morning I'd have a lot of tradies getting their coffee from us, sitting all over my ice cream freezer. So I thought, if you can't beat them, join them. So we got rid of the ice cream freezer and moved it and put a table and chairs there with some bakery goods on it. But what I find happens there every morning now is the networking with those guys. I've got builders now that are engaging with plumbers, the plumber that comes into our store, or an electrician, and even this morning I got handed a resume from someone, a builder that was getting a Bobcat driver or something to come and work for him, and I had to hand that over, and I'm getting USB sticks for blokes saying, can you give this to the electrician for me in the morning? And there's a lot of networking goes on.
Yeah, definitely.
And even a lot of customers coming in and going, where's the guy that's, the electrician that comes here every morning? I need a bloke to do some work at home for me. And so, yeah.
Which is what IGA is all about, is community, supporting locals.
Yeah.
So a bit about you, Parramatta.
A long-suffering Eels fan, yep. 1986 was the last time we won a grand final, but I still support them.
Okay.
Yep.
So where did the love for the Eels come from?
Like I said, I grew up down in Ballina. I played in played for rugby league in Lismore for Morris Brothers in the early 80s. Parramatta were big in the early 80s, that's when they were winning. Had a good team, and their colours were blue and gold, and the colours I played in with Lismore was blue and gold, so probably.
From there.
And my mum was a mad keen Parramatta supporter as well, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you've also played cricket. What else do you do for? Because obviously you're working so many days, being with what you do.
Mm-hmm.
What are the things you love to do outside of work?
I used to play a lot of indoor cricket, but I'm 46 now and I've had a knee operation and it just doesn't, you wake up in the morning and the knee's aching if I keep going, so I've backed off on that. Playing a little bit more golf now than that, so mainly a bit of golf and, just chilling with the family, doing stuff like that.
Yeah. Awesome. What's your favourite part of the Redlands? Where's your favourite place in the Redlands?
Probably Stradbroke Island. I think a lot of people, if you ask a lot of people, you'd probably get that answer. Yeah.
The whole of it or a certain part of it?
I actually like Amity. Yeah. I love the beach. I used to surf at Straddy all the time when I was younger as well. I used to go there and surf all the time, but I don't know, I just love the calmness of Amity. Just it's a really nice little spot. It's not overrun. There's not a lot of ruckus that goes on there, like it can happen at the point sometimes with schoolies or whatever it might be. So yeah, probably Amity.
Yeah. And if you had a billboard, what words would you put on it? Do you have an inspirational quote or a motivation thing or a statement? I know there's one when you walk outside of your store when see you later when your legs are straighter.
Yeah.
But one that would make people think or to inspire people, what's something that you would put there?
Oh, look, I don't know if I've got an inspirational quote. That quote, see you later when your legs are straighter, came when national IGA guys were filming about the 4 stools for an ad campaign that they did on my store. And one of the ladies saw me saying that to a few of the kids, and it's really funny because then the kids come back and say something about see you later, toilet paper, and it's just a little ongoing thing I have with the kids. And most of my quotes are probably a little bit more on the light-hearted side than inspirational. I love looking at a lot of inspirational quotes, Muhammad Ali quotes. I love some of those. But one of my favourite quotes is if you're going to criticise someone, before you do, take the time to walk a mile in their shoes. That way, when you do criticise them, you'll be a mile away and you'll have their shoes as well. So,
love it. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Oh, it's pretty good.
Awesome. Thank you so much for being a part of the project.
It's all good.
And we look forward to seeing you around.
All right, thank you.